My husband betrayed me.
He's having a baby with his mistress, so get out.
But won't you regret this?
No way. Just leave already.
He laughed off my last chance to reconcile. If that's how he feels, I no longer need to worry about him. I signed the divorce papers and went back to my parents' house. But at that time, I didn't know yet that he would come to apologize to me the next day. I'm Lily. My dad is an executive at a public company. After graduating from college, I got a job at a company run by one of my father's acquaintances. It was a connection-based employment, but I worked hard to learn the job so as not to be badmouthed by others. Eventually, I started to be recognized by my colleagues and seniors. I was enjoying my work and leading a fulfilling life. Meanwhile, my dad worried about my lack of a love life and focus on work and decided to set me up on an arranged date. He introduced me to a man named Sam, the most capable among my juniors.
Dad said Sam is the most promising of the younger generation.
No, it's all thanks to the guidance of my superiors and seniors, so I would just...
But Dad and Sam seemed to trust each other deeply. I agreed to the arranged date to honor my father. But as I learned more about Sam's character, I started to think that marrying him might lead to happiness. As we went on several dates, I found his assertiveness and reliability increasingly attractive. Yes, I was gradually drawn to Sam.
Dad asked Sam, so what do you think of my daughter?
I see as money, I intend to date her with marriage in mind.
After Sam declared his intention to marry me in front of my dad, things moved quickly. It bragged to me. Scott and Sam happily discussed wedding plans and our future home every time they met. Seeing my dad like that, I thought getting married might not be so bad. But before the wedding, Sam had one condition for me. He wanted me to quit my job and become a full-time housewife. Although it was hard to give up the job I loved, I was so filled with the desire to marry Sam that I agreed to his condition. However, as soon as we got married,
I really didn't want to get married so soon. He said...
What? But you agreed to the arranged date because you were considering marriage, right?
I did it because your father asked me. I couldn't refuse my boss's request, could I? How could I reject marrying you when your father's so enthusiastic? Well, marrying you would certainly promise my career advancement, so I went along with it.
So you married me just for your career?
Of course, why else would someone like me marry a boring woman like you? Who's that? Dan belittled me. Unable to argue back. I quit my job and had no income.
Having lost my confidence, I couldn't even confront Sam. Gradually, he stopped coming home and often went drinking. When asked where he was going, he'd just say, "It's none of your business." That's the scent of perfume and business cards from clubs in his suit pockets made it clear he was out with women every night. However, there were no signs of him having an affair with any particular woman. It must be just socializing for work, I thought. I kept telling myself that, as the wife of a successful husband, I should endure to some extent. I tried not to think about it as much as possible. But the truth is, a marriage full of tolerance was tough. I wanted to vent everything to someone. Yet, having quit my job, I had grown distant from my old friends, leaving me with no one to confide in about my serious troubles. If I turned to my parents, my dad would surely over-worry, and it might even affect Sam's job. I had no choice but to endure alone. It was around this time that Sam's promotion to department head was decided at an unusually fast pace. I was relieved I didn't have to make any awkward inquiries to my dad. Hearing about the promotion, my first feeling was relief for that reason. Perhaps due to his promotion, Sam's mood at home has been better lately. He still doesn't come home much, but I'm grateful that the times of being ridiculed or receiving sarcastic comments when we are together have decreased. Yet, I came to realize that Sam's improved mood wasn't solely because of his promotion. While he was in the shower, I accidentally saw a notification on his unlocked phone. Oh dear. Today was so much fun. I just left, and I already want to see you again. Looking forward to our weekend stay. A teen message filled with heart emojis, and clearly it was from someone he was having an affair with. It mentioned staying over this weekend. Yet he had told me I won't be home this weekend due to a business trip. He's convinced of Sam's infidelity. I checked the name of the person sending the messages. The sender of the message was named Natalia. After that, I decided to delve into who Natalia really was. Luckily, Sam seemed utterly oblivious to the fact that I had caught on to his affair. He didn't bother to lock his smartphone, continuing to send those mushy messages to Natalia. Read through their texts. I figured out Natalia's full name and address. Natalia, that name rang a bell. But where had I heard it before? As I desperately tried to remember, a selfie of Sam and another person was sent to his smartphone. Seeing Natalia's photo, I involuntarily exclaimed, "Ah!" Natalia was the daughter of a client's CEO. I had met her once at a company party. Her flashy attire had left a lasting impression on me. I couldn't believe Sam's affair was with Natalia. It was hard to accept, but the photo, name, and address all matched. There was no room for doubt anymore. But Natalia, I was recalling all the rumors about her. I had to tell Sam the truth. I told him we need to talk and asked him to come home early. Sam unusually came home without fuss. But before I could speak, he started, "Actually, I have something to tell you too." He looked serious as he spoke.
And she's pregnant. So, I've decided to leave you and be with her, she said.
What?
He preempted me before I could tell him my side. It must be about Natalia. But pregnant, really? He continued.
This is already decided. I've always respected your father, but Meteor made me realize how pointless our marriage was.
The one suited for me isn't someone like you with no special qualities. It's someone like her who has it all.
So you're saying you want to divorce me?
Yeah, that's right. Cause you need to leave this house.
I asked Sam, thinking it was my last chance. Are you really okay with this? You won't regret it. Exactly. Sam burst into loud laughter.
Congrats. Delayed. I'll tell you something. Our friend is the CEO's daughter. She's in a different league compared to your father, just a company executive trying to tie me down.
Didn't you say you respected my dad?
Respect? I was just a pose for career advancement. Plus I marry her. I'll be the next CEO of her company. I can quit my current job anytime. Eddie, it means I don't need to suck up to your father anymore.
Rock me all you want. But I always thought you were sincere about my dad and work. That to think there was no such sincerity. Realizing this, my feelings for Sam cooled off like a lie.
So, then I have nothing more to say. Captains, do as you like.
Yeah, I was planning on doing just that.
Sam, without being asked, started blabbering about her.
She was considerate of my family situation, never told me about her pregnancy.
Then how did you find out she was pregnant?
I accidentally found a maternity book in her purse.
She probably planned to have the baby alone, not wanting to burden me. Such a brave girl. Sam, completely smitten with Natalia, was eager to divorce me and proposed to her as soon as possible. He even had the courtesy to prepare the divorce papers already. If that's what Sam wants, it actually suits me fine. I was fed up with seeing his face anyway. After signing the divorce papers, Sam took them, seemingly satisfied, and immediately went to file them at the office. But once he was gone, I quickly packed my bags and headed to my parents' house. I thought that was the end of my marriage with Sam. But the next night, I got a call from him on my cell.
Billy, where are you now?
Where? At my parents' house, of course.
At your parents' house. Pete, can you come to the diner nearby? There's something important to discuss.
Why don't you just come here if you have something to say?
That's a bit, please. I'm begging you. Billy, it's a once-in-a-lifetime request.
Reluctantly, I headed to the designated diner. Volksdesenbate. I found a completely disheartened Sam. As soon as he saw me, he blurted out,
Billy, please get back together with me.
In my astonishment,
Actually, she rejected my proposal.
I swallowed the words I thought so.
She already had a fiancé arranged by her parents. I was just a fling to her from the start.
Yeah, I knew that.
And the babe she's carrying isn't mine.
I had suspected it when I first heard she was pregnant. At our company, it was already well known that Natalia was engaged to the heir of another company. When I found out Sam's affair was with Natalia, I intended to tell him about her. But before I could, Sam quickly discarded me to switch to Natalia. I felt no obligation to kindly inform him of the truth. Knowing this would happen, I kept silent all along.
Natalia chose me as a fling because I was married, thinking there'd be no strings attached.
When I told her I had divorced my wife, she coldly dismissed me, saying, "Are you an idiot?" Looking at Sam's dejected face, I felt no pity at all. He brought this on himself. Well, compared to a wealthy heir, you're no match, are you?
How'd you know about Natalia's fiancé being a wealthy heir?
I told Sam that Natalia is the daughter of one of our company's clients.
Everyone in our company knows she's engaged to a wealthy heir. I never dreamed that she and you were having an affair, though.
He knew about it. Why didn't she tell me then?
I was going to tell you when I realized your affair with Natalia, but you told me to get out before that, didn't you?
That important talk you mentioned back then was about this.
That's why I asked if you'd regret it.
You laughed at me and said no, so I felt relieved and could easily explain the reason for our divorce to my family.
You told your family, even your father-in-law.
Of course. I did.
Hey, what have you done? Alternate, it's not too late. Please retract it.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. It's too late now. My dad was furious.
That's not true. I'm saying I want to start over.
I have no interest in starting over with you. A man who chooses his marriage partner based on their parents' status, like you did, is the last thing I want.
And my father already knows all about you. I told him everything, including your comment about being able to quit your job anytime.
My dad said, then he can quit right away. That's fine by me.
I thought at that time I could get in Natalia's company.
Oh, Bob, you should have listened to my advice.
Yeah. I truly regret it. Oh, can you give me another chance?
Looking at Sam begging me, I coldly replied, there are no more chances. You have to take responsibility for your own actions.
As Sam hung his head, I added, driving the point home,
Oh, by the way, I've finished reporting to my parents, so you should leave that house quickly.
Huh?
he told me to get out, but that house was bought for me by my dad. That it should be in my name.
Hey, I'll be in trouble if I'm told to leave.
Either way, you're going to have to move soon anyway.
What do you mean?
You haven't heard the news yet. You're being transferred out of Tokyo.
Tom!
Like you're being transferred to a remote area. Be thankful you're not being fired.
My dad, furious about our divorce, acted quickly. He arranged for Sam's transfer to a remote location far from Tokyo. That place was well known as a department for potential layoff candidates. This is mixing personal with business.
Not at all. Of course, my dad was angry about me too, but he removed you from the promotion track for a different reason.
Is a person without loyalty to the company and lacking in sincerity doesn't belong in the upper echelons. That's what my dad calmly decided.
Are you okay with your husband being sent to such a remote place?
Ex-husband, you and I are complete strangers now. Lily, don't be so cold. Aren't you getting lonely being all alone? Huh, how delusional can you be? Just like you said you endured our marriage.
I tolerated your verbal abuse and philandering, all because I didn't want to upset my father. Being free from that, I feel so refreshed now.
Lily, don't say that helped me.
Shut up, just be quiet. Do your best in that remote place with the unwanted work.
I got up from my seat without listening to the rest of his words. Then I left the diner without looking back even once. How I ever stayed with such a dishonest and pathetic man is a mystery to me. Afterward, with the help of a lawyer my dad introduced, I sent Sam a bill for alimony. Desperate to cling to his job, Sam quickly paid the full amount using his savings. Getting what I was owed and finally severing ties with Sam was a relief. Actually now, with his savings depleted by the alimony payment, he seems to be living a much simpler life in that remote area. The most promising young executive, that's what they used to say about him, but those days are long gone. Gone is any trace of the man he once was. He's aged rapidly, I hear. As for me, since separating from Sam, I've been living a life of ease and comfort. Upon learning of my divorce, my previous company asked me to return, saying they really wanted me back. But that they valued me for myself, and not just as my dad's daughter. I decided to go back to work. I always loved my job, so there was no hesitation in returning. Perhaps feeling guilty for introducing me to such a loser, my dad keeps bringing me matchmaking proposals. But I've turned them all down. I might consider getting married if the right person appears someday. But for now, I'm keen on enjoying this fulfilling single life a bit more. Luckily, thanks to the alimony Sam sent, I'm financially well off. My life of fully enjoying both work and leisure seems set to continue.